briefly saw online is that people care about this club. And, you know, on a random Monday, Tuesday afternoon, people are talking about soccer. And what we're doing here, what we've built together is consequential. And it's frankly something that we need more in American soccer. We need people caring about their clubs and being so personally invested in, you know, their success and their, you know, future. So, yes, thank you very much. I appreciate that. This whole organization does, you know, because we don't, you know, thrive without you all and all the care that you put into it, whether that's on social media or everything you do on match days or everything you do for the club. And so, you know, the formal part of the announcement is, you know, last week we submitted our resignation letter to NISA, and we are moving to USL Championship on the men's side in 2022, starting in competition in March. It is a big day for the club. It's a big day for the organization. Some might call it a 2-pint day. For us, it represents, you know, an opportunity to continue the momentum we've been building for over 10 years and continue to defy all the odds. We should not be here right now by all standards of American soccer. We shouldn't be in our own facility. We shouldn't have all these kids running around. You know, we shouldn't have all these people who have a vested interest, both emotionally and financially, in this club in a room like this. This is unique and it's special, and it's because of all you. And this move helps us keep doing that. Provides us a more stable platform, you know, to keep operating off of. And it also, you know, provides us an opportunity to have more resources to grow as an organization and to be more active in the community going forward. So, you know, it is big, and it means a lot to us. You know, the last 18 months, you know, I was joking the other day, if smoking a cigarette takes 10 minutes off your life, running a minor league soccer team over the last 18 months, I would hate to know what that does to your life expectancy, you know? But we've weathered through it, and we made it through it, and we positioned ourselves for growth coming out of COVID. And, you know, that was thanks to the support of the people in this room and everybody who's tuned in today. And, you know, through that process, you know, I can speak, you know, for myself and Alex and Todd and Dave, who've been here since day one. You know, I think there's definitely a sense of that we are stewards of something that people really care about, and that we weren't going to let it down. And that is something that we want to be around for generations to come. And so that's what drives us every single day. And so, you know, it's a video that everybody will see, you know, shortly. You know, we're coming up on our 10th anniversary. And it's an amazing opportunity to kind of look back at where we were, right? Like all the familiar faces in that video. You know, it's just, yeah, and we got some of them on velvet paintings here in the room. Yeah, so we've been on an amazing journey together, and we're excited for this next chapter because there's even bigger and better things we're going to be doing, you know, going forward. And, you know, today we got the foundations going. It's our program for 5 to 8-year-olds, but and you see a lot of old friends with their kids here now. Last Saturday was emotional for me in the sense that, you know, it's a beautiful autumn day. We've already won a championship. There wasn't really much to play for, but we still won because that's what Trevor's teams do. And But looking up into that crowd, there were so many old friends and so many people that were part of DCFL back in 2010 who are there in their DCFC garb, and now they're there with their kids, right, in DCFC garb. And those kids are playing in our youth programs. And, like, it really, you know, I just didn't have enough time in this span of that match to, like, talk to all the people I wanted to. And knowing that I'm not going to see a lot of them for, like, 5 months until we're back to Keyworth, right? And, like, you know, there was a panic of, like, at the end, like, I saw that person from far and I didn't get to talk to them. But it is that sense that we are building something generational and something that is going to last, you know, for a long time. And that's what drives us. So USL platform, again, you know, for us, it's an opportunity to be on a more stable footing, to continue growing our organization, you know, raises the level of competition on the field, but also I think pushes us from a front office perspective. It gives us an opportunity to, you know, have more resources to do more things. That's what drives us and excites us. On the men's side, next year we'll be moving to the championship, USL Championship, for, you know, second division of soccer. The guys this year have absolutely dominated, and I'm personally very excited to see them compete at that level. But reality is we're not doing this because we're looking for certain players to play at a higher level. Ultimately, this is a long-term move for the organization. Although it's going to be really exciting to see the guys pushed even more and see what Trevor does, with a roster at that level. This is an organization-wide move. On the women's side, it's an opportunity with a clear pathway to have a women's team. Also, a women's team that operates under CBA that's similar to the men's team with parity, which is very important to us and a very unique opportunity that this move provides. On the youth side, we've got all this programming here. There's now 2,000 kids across Metro Detroit that play for our affiliates under our DCFC system. This gives more of a focus. We stay true to our core principles that kids should be playing for neighborhood, their community clubs, but for those kids that have higher aspirations, it's an affordable, accessible way, and it's actually a direct pathway for those top kids to actually get onto a professional roster. And so it really is giving a focus to this massive system that we're developing here, but still staying true to those values that ultimately what's most important to us is those kids have a great experience, they love the sport, and they love DCFC and have a lifelong connection. And maybe some of them make Trevor's roster. I know with any kind of move like this, there's a lot of trepidation. And I absolutely understand that. Trust me, we don't take this lightly, and this has been a fairly emotionally, exhausting stretch here for us. But I just want to reassure and hope you have the faith in us that we've done our best to navigate this. And I think some of the things in the past that I know we value as an organization, hold true. Our intellectual property is ours still. We own it. That's there's realities of a national league having licensing agreements with Dick's Sporting Goods and things like that, and so you'll see our gear in more places, but it's still ours and we still control it, and that's I know that means lots of folks here. It means a lot to us. I think we've developed a reputation in American soccer. We've seen that on Twitter in the last couple of days, right? But a key component of that is, what you all have built on match days, right? And yeah, I think that is an integral part of DCFC, and it's an asset to any league, and that is, I think, very much respected and understood by the folks in Tampa. And so, I very much look forward to having supporter groups from across the country coming to Keyworth and experiencing firsthand the best match day atmosphere in American soccer. So. I know folks are there's a lot of questions probably circling around how did we get here, right? And it speaks to the community around this club and the personal relationships that we built. And it was actually a good friend of ours, and I think his daughter's downstairs playing. From the earliest days of DCFC, a family friend of ours who put us in touch with one of his oldest friends who, he told the DCFC story to, and he gravitated towards it, and he absolutely respected the club, the community, particularly around the club, and the leadership that we have here. And so we brought on an additional investor, and it's not a celebrity. I hate to burst your bubble. He's a everyday guy, a family guy, and he keeps a low profile. And frankly, he doesn't want this to be about him. He wants all the focus here to stay on the club, and he wants this leadership. I mean, we committed to staying on board and navigating this club for not for the foreseeable future, but for the long term. And so, really, it's an investment in everything we've done here. And so, similar to when Joe Rickert came on board or Mike Lazinski came on board, we've done, over the years, found partners who respect what we're doing here and don't want to touch it and don't want to change it in any way. And so it's a testament to everything we've done over the last decade. So in that sense, there's no, we have a new partner who just wants to keep low profile. We totally respect that, and doesn't want to be involved day to day. And frankly, from a lot of perspectives, it's ideal. So. But yeah, it's with that we've gotten the investment to make this transition. We will hate to break it to Trevor, we'll never be the Yankees of USL, but we'll certainly have the resources to be competitive. And regardless, our expectation is to be a tentpole organization in whatever league we're in. And so from day one, we plan on making our presence known in the league, you know, on the field and off of it. So, yeah. Yeah, I mean, to that point, you know, I'll just end and I'll let Trevor and Alex speak. You know, I think, you know, yeah, this next chapter is going to be our biggest yet. And I know we've been saying that year over year, and I think we've proved it year over year. But, you know, this is a special time, special opportunity for us. And, you know, it's an opportunity for us to keep doing what we're doing. You know, we are disruptors in American soccer. We're disruptors in Detroit sports landscape. We've created something very unique and very special here. And this is an opportunity for us to keep doing that and reach more people. So the accessibility that we value, the fact that like we will always be approachable, that we'll always have players, you know, that are approachable, that take pride in representing this club. The fact that like we will always be committed to getting to reflect the community as much as possible and to engage the community as possible, to be as affordable as possible. That's who we are, and that's not changing. So, you know, the season tickets that you bought, they're good, and they're not changing. Like, we're still, we'll be the most affordable team in the USL Championship, right? And yeah. And when we say supporter-driven, like, that is absolutely still true. Because if you don't come and you don't make the magic happen at Keyworth and you don't support the club, it doesn't exist, and it's not worthwhile. And it's not something that people care about. So, just, you know, you are the club, and that's not changing. So with that, I will transition to Trevor.
Hi guys. Can you hear me okay? Yeah. No, good. Well, first of all, obviously it's great to see everybody here again. A little closer. All right, there you go. I think I might just talk like this. No, Tiffany won't like that. Sorry, Tiffany. Yeah, guys, great to see everybody, and obviously to be part of this night. Obviously, again, another major announcement from the club. The club is not afraid of taking on major challenges. They've done it way before I was here, and they're going to do it again. So. The first thing I said when I was called in on Wednesday and had a conversation with the ownership. First of all, when they called me in, I thought I was getting fired, but that's another story. When Tiffany and I got called in and we were given the information of what, obviously we've been focused on the team and everything else, and Sean's very good at that. He's very good at keeping things away from me. So we were just focused and concentrated. I think that's what he said, just concentrate on winning the league. So that's what we did. But when we, as I said, when we heard what was going on and we got some of the details of this was happening, and the first thing I said to the owners was a massive congratulations, because I'm a newbie. I've only been here. This is my 3rd year. Some of you have been here forever. So I'm a newbie, and it was just close to 3 years ago. I sat over there with the ownership when they interviewed me, and I thought, well, these guys are a little bit different. This is a different way to build, a club. But obviously the enthusiasm for it and the work rate for it, just like the players, they're always going to be successful. So I knew that from the off. So, but when I say I congratulate everybody, because it's you guys, it's everybody part of this club. You saw the video, you heard what Sean says. You've gone through this time and time again. You are a community club. DCFC is a community-built club, and it will always be while these guys are in charge. Okay, so congratulations to everybody who's come to this point. And it's been 3 years since I've been here, or nearly 3 years. We've been successful. In that time, we've gone from an amateur team to now a team in the 2nd tier in this country. One. Okay, one step away from being in the top league in the country. So just think about where you've come from in 10 years. That's unbelievable. And again, the only thing that will probably stop us, if we were successful or you were successful, the only thing which will stop you getting into the top league is obviously promotion. That's the only thing. All right? But we joked this week because, you know, over the last 3 years, we keep winning things. And obviously there's no promotion and relegation. But I think after 3 years, they thought, well, we best promote them, you know. So that's what happened. So big congratulations to everybody. I mean, as I said, I've seen it in the time I've been here, what the ownership does, what the fan base does, what everybody at this club does. It was a very small group of people, and I'm sure that's going to increase as we move on. But everything people do, it's always for the club, and on match days it's fantastic, and obviously what you guys do for match days makes it very special for the players. Unfortunately, it makes it very special for the other players. So every game is a cup final, but that's fine. We've seemed to cope with that, and we sort of enjoy the pressure now, I think. So congratulations to everybody. You know, it's been a fantastic time. My time up to this point has been fantastic. Obviously, we're charged now to go into the next era, if you like. And with that, obviously, you know, we have to learn the ropes. But this club is never one for going out and just taking part. So we need to try to put a roster together with what we've got and what we will add to it. That will be very competitive in the first season. Okay, that's the goal. Okay, because I know I don't want you guys saying, you know, fire him and all that sort of business. You know, because I've just bought a house, so I don't want that happening. So, okay. Okay, so that's what we'll be trying to do. As far as the technical side, obviously, it changes. It changes. Obviously, it means we may need more help on the technical side as far as coaching and different needs. We may need. We're going to be tested, so it's great for us as coaches. And I spoke with Harvey and Eric yesterday. I think it was yesterday or the day before, about the challenges, and they're looking forward to now being challenged. To, you know, we're supposed to be playing against a higher level opponent. We're supposed to be working against higher level coaches. So now we challenge ourselves. We challenge ourselves to see if we can still do the same things as we've been doing for the last 2 or 3 years. In looking at who we're playing, trying to pick the right team, trying to pick the right tactics, and trying to get the results that everybody wants. And that just carries on. Yes, it steps up a bit, probably. But I think but I think that's a great challenge for everybody. Okay, so we're all tested. You know, you'll see some different teams. You'll see probably some different levels of players. Hopefully, you'll see the same results as you've been seeing, and we'll go from there. But as I said, as we go forward over the next 2 or 3 months, I'm sure the roster will take shape, and we'll see where we are come March when we start. Okay, so that's all I'll say on the technical side. Obviously, any questions, I'll field them, but I'll hand you over to Alex. And again, thank you very much, guys, for all your support.
Thanks, Trevor. Just speaking for everyone again, we're just so lucky to have you, and everything you've accomplished is really amazing. I've had to pull together a lot of information over the past week or so, and just the hardest thing is pulling together your stats, because it's kind of like they're too good to be believed. So I had to go back, and then I had to go back again, and then I sent it out, and they're like, "Those, could you double check those?" No one has a goal differential of plus 115 after 3 seasons. So I mean, that quote was about me, guys. That was about how hard my job is. Real quick before we open this up to questions, just want to make a final point and just like double down on the guys' gratitude. Like Media 101, you don't do press conferences at 6 p.m. at bars, right? Unless you have a group of people that you want to know something important before anyone else. All right, like this is going to make news. It already has made news, but we thought it was really important to do this way because it's really important that the subtext of this team is the text, right? Like this is about all of us here. And like this moment is where that starts, right? And so we're doing an evening press conference, and none of this will ever be in the news. But we can start talking about it tomorrow. Just a couple points on the media side. Super excited, things to look forward to. Home and away games on ESPN+. You guys deserve that. You guys deserve it. It's too hard to watch DCFC play. And that's about to change, and that's extremely exciting. We're about to pick up a heck of a lot more fans. And again, to echo Sean, like the conversations that are going on online is great. Like it's so great that people are talking about soccer, about American soccer, about what it's about, how to fix it, what defines it. And that stuff's great, and that stuff's going to sustain us all for a long time. But what we don't want anyone to forget is like the reason we're doing this now, right? Like our time is too valuable, right? Like the just look out there, right? Like those kids like don't have like 5 years for us to figure out the future of American soccer, right? Like they're just gonna pick a new sport or a new team. So as these conversations go on, it's fun to participate in, it's fun to watch them. Like always be remembering, like we can't wait. Like these memories can't wait. We gotta build this club, and that's why we're doing this, and that's why we're so excited to have all of you guys behind us. So with that, let's open it up to questions. What we're gonna do is, if you have a question, raise your hand. And then Sean will call on you. You have to raise your hand if you want to give a question. It's like a meta question.
John Charge asked, are we good to use Keyworth? And we do. We are going to be making some modest modifications to get up to standards. We got to get locker rooms, both male and female, for referees. We got to do improve the lighting for broadcast. And then the width, frustratingly, has to be modified just a foot or so on each side. But these are all things that U.S. Soccer suggested, and we'll make work. So yes, there's no issues with Keyworth. Okay. Yeah. Sean Grogan in the back. So Sean Grogan asked how this impacts the women's side and our other programming. So there will be a formal announcement on the women's side. So I'm not supposed to talk about it yet, but I think it's kind of evident that all of our teams are moving over to the USL family of leagues. And so with that, we have committed that we would field a professional women's team, but we still got to work out the timeline on that. So I wouldn't anticipate we'd launch the women's professional side in 23 when the USL Super League, but we'll be working towards that. And again, it's exciting for us. might seem odd, but like, to have thank you. I think it's exciting. It's one of the more appealing things to us. But no, there's a CBA on the men's side, which actually I think is a tremendous asset, and the idea that CBA generally framework would be applied to women as well, and having that parity was something that was very enticing to us. So the question is, should we expect the men's team to play the final 2 games of the season? And yes, I have no reason to think they wouldn't. Yeah. Yeah. Garrett? Do you want to talk about that, or I can speak to it. So the question is, will there be an announcement about the second men's team? And right now, our plan is not to field a team in League 2. Just thinking of what has the most direct positive immediate impact for the roster of the men's, the championship team, it would be focusing on the academy and building that out. So. Yep.
So the question is who's calling our games? The answer to that question is that we love our guys. We've invested 10 years in building out a professional level broadcast team, from behind the cameras to running the cameras to calling the games. In this market, we've put more time and effort into creating like visual storytellers that understand the sport than anyone else. And we'd be nuts to turn our back on those guys. We're still in the process of finding out what that means. And it's going to come down to budget. It's going to come down to logistics. Neil and John have our seal of approval. There are also going to be other opportunities for content as we move forward. What I can't say for sure is who's calling every single one of our games. What I can say for sure is that you have not heard the last of Neil Rule and John Krieger talking about DCFC. You have not heard the last of Neil Rule and John Krieger. Next question.
Do we have some questions from the internet? Any changes on the season ticket side? No. What we've been selling is what it is, and actually, I think a very exciting thing is we've sold as many season tickets in the last 24 hours just with the muttering going on than we did in the month prior. So, I think there's a lot of excitement out there already. And but to that point, again, we're committed to being the best value in town, and we are back. One of my favorite parts is haggling on international friendlies, and so those will certainly be included in the mix next year. And so I think we're down to like 100 gold card tickets left, so I wouldn't wait on those. So, yep. So the question was the USL schedule look like, and will there be windows for international friendlies? And so I know we have a meeting tomorrow to I think formalize the schedule for next year. So but I would anticipate similar if not more games than certainly more games than we had this year. And I know USL teams enjoy international friendlies like we do, and so we're anticipating that there will have opportunities. Yeah, I think the announcements will come out of the meeting tomorrow. But yeah, it's one season. And it'll be spring to fall. So March, October. Yep. Yep. So the question was about the MLS affiliates. I don't know the final roster. My understanding is a few are sticking around for at least one more year. But I think that would all come out within the next week. Yep, in the very back. So the question is there any other teams joining USL? So there's one, certainly Monterey Bay, right? Trevor's old mate, Frank Yallop, is heading up that project, right? Yeah. So.
I'm going to say he was my old mate, but a couple of weeks ago he wanted my players, so that's changed. That's changed now, so.
Yep. Yeah. So, the question is, how USL, what communications there were with the USL. I think that's a situation we'll navigate, as we go through it. What I would say is we fully appreciate, and I think they fully appreciate, like, what we bring to the table, and, like, we value that first and foremost. So, but we appreciate the partnership we have with you all to navigate all this, and, so we'll go through this hand in hand. Yep.
That's good.
We'll figure it out.
That's good, Sean. We're going to say that a lot.
We'll figure it out.
We're going to say that a lot. We go
know
through this
what?
hand in hand.
We're going to get a new crest next year, and below it, we'll have it in Latin. We'll figure it out. Yeah. I mean, yeah. If we're going to want to be English, yeah. Yep, right here. So yeah, there are the winter meetings, USL winter meetings across the whole, and so yeah, I mean, we are full members, and so we'll be there and present. And I don't know the full slate other than what I've heard on Reddit or whatever. So, but yeah, I mean, I think we're excited to be in that room, and I think our presence already, like we are an entity in U.S. soccer, and we're excited to be part of those conversations. So, any other questions online?
Yeah, a couple online ones we can fit in. Another broadcast question asking about how this affects our local TV relationships. It does not. We are free to continue our local statewide broadcasts. And to that end, we would be able to get those away feeds into the local broadcast as well. So creating a regular Saturday, DCFC's on thing, which is something that we've been dreaming of for quite a while, is not far from becoming a reality. Sean, do you know if we will get a charity license plate now?
So the whole squad, we're going up to the Capitol tomorrow to get our pictures taken with the dignitaries, and we'll have to do some lobbying when we're up there. So, yep. So there was a snarky question in the back about, is the local media going to cover us? I mean, I think, we've done what we've done on our own, but yeah, I think we do anticipate that, like, there's a, degree of credibility that's going to come with this, and just accessibility, and, content, statistics that are coming out, that's going to make it easier to be covered. And so, I think even if we were MLS in this marketplace, like, it's a tough landscape, and no offense to the radio journalists in the room here, we appreciate you. but it is a very tough landscape. I mean, Michigan football, Michigan State, like they take up all the oxygen. Lions, yeah. I mean, but so we have to fight for everything we get, and I think just being in a position to make it easier to cover us only helps. Yep. Another question. So, yeah, no, okay. So the comment was about concern about national brands usurping local brands. I think where we are doing well is like Ally is a national brand based here in Detroit, right? And I think what we've done really well, and I credit TJ and Chris, is position ourselves as getting them to buy in into like what we're doing in the community. And so like Ally, for example, like underwriting like the DPS league that's starting on Sundays here, like leveraging that interest and like what we've been building up for 10 years. That is kind of our focus. And yeah, I think there's already tremendous interest from corporate partners that are, really making this move, that much easier. And so that will be our focus, going forward. And yeah, there certainly will be national brands involved, but we also do place a premium on local brands, right? Look at the beverages in the bar, right? We will incentivize those type of relationships, especially the ones that have an impact on the match day experience. Yep. So yeah, the question was about franchise fee. I mean, that's covered under confidentiality with the league. I mean, it's not different than actually in our current league confidentiality, provisions. So not in a position to speak directly to that. Yep. Any more online questions?
There's a couple questions about if anything's been clarified about like the structure of the league, divisions, conferences, stuff like that. Is there anything that we can say right now, or is that still being?
I think that will come out of the meetings this week. Yep. Cool. All right. Who wants one last question? All right, John. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for your question. Appreciate it. Everybody, bar's open.
No, so John Mosina had a question, yeah?
Well, look, I mean, I appreciate the question. But like, we live in a sports town right now, where we've been expected to just handle the fact that the last 5 years have been about rebuilding every other team, right? Like, that's bulletin board material for us, right? Like, we don't have time to rebuild. Right, like we're building. Like good on them that they think they have time to lose an entire generation of kids, right? So like when I was 8, Tigers won the World Series, so they're the best. In my opinion, they're still the best team of all time, right? But like, God forbid you grew up in the '90s, right? There's no baseball fans that were like kids when they were in the '90s, right? Or at least, and if you were, good on you. But like, that's the conversation we want to have. Like, as long as there's bands, there's going to be talk about selling out. Like, those aren't conversations. Like, we can have that conversation. We'll leave it on Twitter. Like, it's fine. Like, that conversation is going to exist. But like, let's talk about what we're doing every single day to make sure that this is Detroit's soccer team for the next 50, 100, 150 years, right? Thanks, John. Just keep lobbing those softballs. I'll knock them out of the park, buddy. We got a good thing going. Yeah. Real quick, just to be clear, there was one question about we don't have any major announcements to make, but in terms of if we will have a women's team next year.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yes. They will play May, June, July. Sam is heading up that squad. That is happening. So, yep.
Great. Well, the document of questions I'm supposed to read to you is empty.
Okay.
So.
All right. Well, I guess we close that chapter then.
Yep.
Fantastic. All right. One more from Jam Jam. They're going to be delivered in the El Guapo truck. So we are, Alex got brought into this because I dropped the ball on it, and Alex is now the point person on the Blazers, but progress is being made.
It's like Blazergate.
Yep.
Never should have brought those Blazers out.
I was so excited.
Blazers are coming together great. We are working with Mature, one of our amazing partners. They're over here all the time showing us options and models. Kevin, the merch store, he's sending stuff back. He's bringing stuff over. He's killing it. Blazer is a costly and important item. We're going to do it right. I'm not going to ask you to pay good money for a blazer unless it's great. And it's going to have to fit lots of people and lots of genders and lots of ages. So I don't have an answer to the blazer question other than there's going to be a blazer in our future sometime. It's going to be sweet. Cool. Really sweet.
Great. All right. Well, I think we've addressed every question, concern, thought in the room. So thank you all for being out here tonight. Just want to say thank you all. Enjoy this moment. It's been a long road to get here, and there's a lot more fun ahead. So stick around, have fun. We'll be around.